Okay, now that we're in our flow state after working on our positive money mindset, let's talk about cash flow, the I's and O's of your money. You gotta know what's coming in and going out each month so you can make sure that what's coming in is greater than or equal to what's going out. Now, I do not mean make a budget or track expenses. That is painful, torture, and a boring waste of time. We're going to keep this simple. It's as simple as opening up your checking account and looking at how much money is in there right now and what came and went over the last month. You do not need to drill down into minutia and specifics about what category each dollar was spent in. That is a colossal waste of time. You want to know your money I's and O's, and your goal is to get to positive cash flow, i.e. positive fluid balance. Knowing your cash flow helps you know exactly what you need to do when it comes to your finances. For example, if cash flow is negative, your goal is to get to positive, and you plan around that. You may need to increase your income or decrease your expenses to get to positive cash flow. There are lots of ways to play here, lots of ways to be creative. However, as a resident, your main priority is to learn how to become the best doctor you can be. And this is a limited time offer, like a one-time only thing, so you want to get as much learning out of it as possible. So I recommend keeping other areas of your life as simple as possible, including your finances. The simplest way to achieve positive cash flow is to keep your living expenses low so that you have more spending flexibility and you don't have to worry about money because you have a buffer, i.e. you're living below your means. And the easiest way to do that is to keep your housing cost, which is probably your biggest monthly expense, low. Focusing on those big expenses like housing, student loans, and car. Those are really what's going to make it easiest for you to reduce your expenditures in the simplest way possible. If your cash flow is positive already, then your goal is to figure out what to do with that extra money, and you plan around that. Here is where it gets interesting, because in order to know what to do with that extra money, you need to know what do you want to do with, I don't know, your life? What's important to you? What do you like to do? Where do you want to go? Etc. Your cash flow will guide you. In summary, the goal is to go from negative cash flow to positive cash flow, and then figure out what you want to do with your money. So, how do you figure out your cash flow? I'll show you. Here's an example. This is going to use my Money Med School personal finance system in the Notion app. Okay, so here we are in the Notion Money Med School personal finance app, and we have here the FEN Finance Hub demo. It's set up as overview, debt, cash flow, savings, investments, net worth, and to do. So let's go to the cash flow section. So as we can see here, we have our monthly income and our monthly expenses and a cash flow summary. So in the month of March, we got paid twice for $24.52 each time for a total of $49.05 in. And these are our major expenses in March. And as you can see, we do not break it down into minutia. We have our big expenses like rent, our student loan, savings, and credit card, because that's pretty much all the rest of our expenses are going on our credit card or whatever else you have here. You can put in here. So credit card, you can just leave it like this. You don't have to break it down into what did I spend at a restaurant? What did I spend on utilities? What did I spend here and there? You just leave it like that. Simple. Each thing is categorized appropriately, and if you want to set a budget amount, you can do that. And it'll let you know if you're over or under. So basically, come down here, our total expenses for the month are $35.55, and this is all automatically calculated for you down here in cash flow summary. Total in $49.05, total out $35.55. Our cash flow was positive, and we had $13.50 left over. So if your cash flow is negative and you need to make adjustment, again, you'll get the biggest bang for your buck tackling large expenses like a home and a car. Can you reduce these costs? Then, if you want to dive deeper, you can then take a look at the credit cards just to make sure there's no hidden losses or hemorrhages in there. Sometimes you want to check your subscriptions, make sure that there's no subscriptions that you're not using that you could get rid of, or other things that you may have forgotten about. And if your cash flow is already positive, the biggest question is, what do I want? What do I want to do with my money? I.e., what do I want to do with my life? Right now, as a resident, you're probably going to be spending most of your money taking care of your living expenses, including your student loans, but you're going to have some left over, and I want to make sure that you learn how to invest it. So stay tuned for the next videos. If you found this one helpful, like and subscribe to our channel, Money Med School.